Hello and welcome to the Region 2 Ops Report for February. And in kicking off this evening, we'll just remind you of the anniversary of the February 7th fires from last year. And there's a few things that we'd like to draw your attention to. Firstly, there are quite a few community events that are going to be held and memorial services, etc., that people will be aware of in their area. And we'd just like to remind you that attendance at those is personal preference, whatever brigades or individuals would prefer to do. So there will be no requirement for us for people to do anything they don't wish they want to do, so we leave it with you to make those decisions. And in covering that, we just remind you of the welfare and support that's available to people at what is the first anniversary of a traumatic time for many. And we would just remind you of the various types of support that we have and ask people to keep an eye out for fellow members. And if you see anyone that you think could do with a bit of a chat, by all means raise that with us and we'll see what we can do to assist. We'd just like to remind people too that the work that's carried on since that event has shown that in us all working together we can do things much better. And we've been doing that, and we are going to come out of this and improve service. So congratulations to those who've been involved in that. The next meeting of the Boundary Alignment Subcommittee of the RPC will be on Tuesday, February the 2nd at 18:30 hours at the Region 2 headquarters, and so the normal representatives will be in attendance at that meeting. From a communications point of view, the Metcalfe Group have changed to channel 106 and now work through Vicfire at Ballarat, and that's happened last month. And so if people have lists from a communications point of view, or appliances with stickers on the dash, or in your contact books, any of those places where the channel is recorded, please change that to 106 for the Metcalfe Group. Some plastic signs have been distributed which show the fire danger ratings for Victoria, and so they show the very high, severe, extreme, catastrophic ratings and where they come in and the colours that they are rated through. We ask you to display those for the public in prominent areas where they'll be seen, so people can get used to that terminology and know where it sits in the scale of fire danger rating. We had our first Code Red Catastrophic Day on the 12th of January for the Northern Country, and we'd just like to use that as a prompt to thank everyone for their preparedness work that they've been doing on all of the bad days that the people have made themselves available. And on quite a few of those bad days we've been very successful at First Attack at keeping fires small, and we'd like to congratulate people who've been effective in doing that. Well done. There's a photographer for the National Geographic, Mr. Mark Thyssen, who's here from the US for the next month or so, and so you might see him around on the fire grounds. He's fully PPC'd and trained and will be escorted if he's on the fire ground, but if you see someone with a very flash looking camera on your fire ground, that may be who it is. A reminder, the Royal Commission handed down some findings on the 22nd of December, and there'll be a response from the government to those findings issued shortly, so you should see that pretty soon. There'll be new operations checklists, and traffic management point cards will be issued to brigades shortly too, so we should shortly have those supplies and bundle them up and get them out to people. Recently in deliveries, the standard operating procedures have been delivered. There's some updated ones of those. And in particular, I draw your attention to the one for fuel reduction burning. And if brigades do burning, and more brigades are doing that around to protect their communities, we would ask you to read that, and it gives the whys and what fors of how to go about that burning. And if there's any queries on it, to contact Mr. Tim Hunter, who's our burning guru here at the region, who can assist with any of that work and the paperwork to make sure it all runs smoothly. We'd also like to remind people to report any near misses and not just brush off something where someone almost got hurt, because today's hazard might be what injures tomorrow's firefighter. And so if you bring it to our attention, then we can do something about it, and whether that's training or modifying things. We're really keen on people telling us about the near misses, so you don't have to be hurt to actually have some effect on our safety record. From a vehicle point of view, the Bendigo Fire Station has a new twin cab here for the summer, and that's for our ground observers to use. So that's a very, very good thing that's occurred, and allows them some independence and have their vehicles set up all the time. So that will further improve their response time and make them available to people to use for mapping of fires, to assist incident controllers and sector commanders, to allow the planning department to get a better handle on what's going on at the major fires, and also gives us that facility to run the thermal image camera out to brigades where they've had a fire where they might want a final look over just to make sure that it's safe. So that's certainly available. From a deliberate fires point of view, we've had 5 people charged in our region with deliberate fire lighting in the last month. And that's a fantastic figure from our point of view, that 5 people have been caught up with, and we would encourage firefighters to pass on information. Information is the lifeblood of these investigations, and we would really ask you to continue doing that, and remember to call a fire investigator if you've got a suspicious scene. From a CFA people news point of view, we would like to pass on our sympathy to the family and friends of Hugh Munro from Tolmi, who lost his life in vehicle rollover during the month while on duty, and our thoughts certainly rest with all of that firefighter's family and friends at this time, which must be very difficult for them. Michelle Cannon is continuing on as our Community Education Coordinator for part of February, so she'll still be maintaining that role. And just a reminder that this operations report is also available on email. If people wish, they could email us and request that to be delivered to their work or home addresses, whatever. And that's about all we have for this February. So until next month, when we return again to pass on what we found out in the coming month, it's goodbye from the Region 2 team. Thank you.